Oh, do we start? Okay, so at 7:00 p.m., this is the October 11th, 2022 open public meeting of the Needham Library Board of Trustees being held via hybrid format, allowing remote participation under Mass Commonwealth Act adopted during the pandemic state of emergency. First, I will just take a roll call to confirm that the trustees, library staff, and persons anticipated to be on the agenda are present and can hear me. So, trustees Anna Geraldo Kara. Here. Jay Trialco.
Here.
Tom Harkins.
Here.
Carol Thomas. Here. Rob Pettit.
Here.
Earhart Grafe.
Here.
Myself, Kay Cagle, here. Tonight, we have library staff members. We have Director Kim Hewitt. Here. Dimitri Kirakis.
Here.
Paula Dugan.
Here.
Yes. Danielle Tawa is
Here.
I guess out there. She's there. And Faith. Chrisley.
It sounds like it has an H, but it doesn't.
Yeah. Okay.
Give it that way,
Suddenly
it helps.
blanked. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Okay. And any others from the Library Foundation or otherwise? No, does not look like it. Okay. This meeting is being recorded. Remote participants, please mute their phone or computer when not speaking. If there is a problem that prevents the completion of the meeting, we'll reconvene at 7 p.m. November 8th, 2022. That is election day. Did we meet on election day?
Yes, we do.
We do. Okay. Thank you,
We
Tom.
do a town election day. but
Yeah,
the
it's
other
not
day
a-
we do.
Okay. So November 8th, 2022, and we are now in order at 7:02 p.m. So the first order is any public comments. If there's any member of the public who would like to speak, either remotely or in person. I guess we only allow in person during this public comment session. So there doesn't seem to be anybody here. And so in that case, the next item is the minutes from September. Jay, I want to address the minutes.
Excuse me?
Hey, as the secretary, do you have anything?
No,
Last
I don't have anything to add to the minutes.
Anybody else have any corrections, changes to the minutes?
I had a couple.
Okay, great. Gerhard.
On page 4, in the trust fund section, the permanent donation fund had an extra dollar sign there in the first figure in that sentence. Did we find that? All right. Under statistical report, the last paragraph there, just the commas, after the space after Kim noted, space, comma, space.
Say that again, Aaron.
Yeah, in the last paragraph of the
Statistical report?
statistical report, it says Kim noted,
Mhm.
space,
Oh,
comma,
yeah. Yep.
should be comma space.
Yep.
And then on page 5, in the section under brainstorming session, there's that paragraph that leads with the bolded trustees had a long discussion on these topics. There's a couple of ands we should probably get rid of.
Okay.
Just to kind of make it a little easier to read.
And
Yeah. So there's the section on community gets together, civic engagement, the balance between digital and printed materials, and then comma, and then we should probably cut that and
Just make it leave this
then
comma.
make it possible collaboration with other town departments and organizations, comma, cut that and as well. And then considering fundraising and other financial opportunities, and reaching the current non-user, non-library user. Now, the next one is not a complete sentence. So we could add it to the previous sentence, just drop another and then do comma, and also, see what I'm saying? So drop the and of reaching the current non-library user and then turn the period into a comma, and then add an and there in lowercase also. That'll complete the series.
Got it.
I, oh, Carol, go
I
ahead.
just had one
Yeah.
small thing, it's on page 3. Paragraph 4, which is continued from previous, on the gift list. Next to the last item, Mario Harlow donated, I think there were number 2 chairs.
Oh, yeah.
I see it, 2 chairs.
2 chairs.
Yeah, it's a, yeah, it's the spell check, sorry. Yeah, okay, that's fine, I got it, thank you.
I have one little change. That is from you, Carol? Do you have?
Yep, no, that's it.
On page 5, 2/3 of the way down, under where the topic heading, bold heading is trustees at a long discussion. The only thing I would change is the role of the library in a world with too much information. I think that was part of the things that I was saying, and really the point was that we have too much misinformation. And so I would just change that word to misinformation. I don't really think there's a problem with too much information. More information is good.
Misinformation. instead of
Misinformation.
information, okay.
And my only other question is just more of a general thing. So I wonder, a certain amount of this is from Kim's director's report in the first 2 or 3 pages. And I wonder if we need to have that in the minutes, since it's mainly, we already have it in the director's report for the meeting. So replication of things from the director's report, I don't know how the rest of the board feels. I mean, I'd be interested to know whether we need, yes, Anne.
Would we say refer to Kim's report, and if there are specific pages?
But Kim's report doesn't go up on the website, and the minutes have to be for public access.
Oh, okay,
Okay, that's a good
that's fine.
point.
And I think that goes with the open meeting rules. I mean, I'm not 100%, but that's my understanding from minutes from other boards. I don't mean to, I'm just.
No, I'm raising the question.
I forgot
If
about
it's
that.
already in the director's
Yeah.
report, why is it in the minutes too? So I don't know how it's traditionally been done over the years, but,
I would think the director's report would be available to the public on request. Whether or not it goes up on the website along with minutes, that's a different story, but I would assume that if any citizen wanted to see that report, they could go to the office, ask for it. So,
Yeah.
but it is a nice.
Oftentimes, the director's report, the beginning stuff, right? It doesn't have to be included. But it's the stuff that the director's report, the things that we're gonna be talking about in the meeting, that should be included. Right, you know what I
that should be
mean?
in the minutes if there's
Because
things that are.
sometimes the other things in the last part of the director's report is usually things that are going to be discussed in the meeting. But then again, one of the things that we don't discuss, and I think the public would like to know, is that the concerns about the, the kitchen, the work orders
Mhm.
that are being delayed.
Yeah.
I think that's an important situation.
And
I
so
mean, I think
maybe
that's a
having
good-
it in the minutes is a good thing because this is what goes on the web.
I think so.
Is that what we're?
Or just maybe attach the director's report. I don't know.
Witnessing that too.
Yeah. But, as important to the minutes is only important if it's action items that were being discussed.
I believe the minutes are supposed to reflect whatever was said at the meeting.
Yeah,
So if I'm reading it out loud, because otherwise I don't have to read my report anyway, I read it to enter it into the minutes, I believe. Otherwise, you guys could just read it and I wouldn't have to speak, like,
Yeah.
so I'm a little unclear on,
So you're saying maybe it would be good to have it in the minutes.
it's always, yeah, I mean, I guess it's always been my understanding that they go there, but I don't
Yeah.
totally know an official, whether it has to be or not, so
Yeah.
I can certainly look into it.
I can give you one input from another board, Kim. When I take youth, the director of the Youth and Family Services does a report just like you do. And then that part it goes into the minutes because
Yeah.
her report.
Because you read it out loud, yeah.
Yeah. And the board asks questions and comments.
I can certainly look into it over the next month too and come back with something.
Yeah. And that's not your heart had something to, go ahead.
So going really quickly into the statute, Tom is correct that any documents that are presented to a public meeting are part of public record. So they, upon request, they'd be
Yeah.
available. in terms of how much detail to include in the minutes, the law just states that you have to, you set the date, time, and place, members present, summary of the discussions on each subject, a list of documents under exhibits used at the meeting, decisions made and actions taken. So I think the key thing here is summary of discussions on each subject. I think, certainly the director's report is a good starting point for those items, because that is a pretty good summary of what is being discussed. If the director's report has a ton of detail, you can always take out some, so we're just hitting the high points, but that's how I read the statute.
All right.
I was gonna say, one option could be, we just make this one of the documents that's a featured item, and then we add it as an appendix to the minutes, right?
Add it as an appendix.
And then you just say, refer
Seemed
to
to make
the
sense to me.
Yeah.
report appendix.
That we have, the minutes comes and it has the director's report as the appendix attached. And so when the minutes, is that what we're talking about?
Yeah.
No? That's not what
I think if we wanted to make it easily accessible and referable within the minutes, then we just append it to the minutes every time.
Yeah.
As
That's fine with me.
as I said before, and what, said just now, is that the items on the director's report included in the minutes only have things to be agenda items or action items.
So say that again, I'm not sure I'm following
Like
your point.
my report includes like the building
Yeah.
report,
Right.
things like that, pieces that are on the agenda separately. But I
And,
don't know that that's,
and therefore,
yeah.
What?
I don't know
Well,
that
I
makes
mean,
a
the only
difference.
thing that's included, necessary to be in the minutes from the director's report is the stuff that refers to agenda items. And that's,
Right,
we usually
yeah.
put those off until we get to the agenda item. That's what we've done in the past. And I don't think that, I mean, the more information out there, the better, but.
okay.
I think that there's a lot of interesting things that the public would be
Mhm.
curious about, especially like, you always have these highlights at the beginning, which kind of talk about the programming. And it'd be lovely to have
Yeah.
those as a public record on the website that folks could refer to and be like, oh yeah, when they met in October, here's what the library director was able to share about what they had done in the previous month. And it'd be great to be able to reference that easily.
So why would we change that though from the way it is now? Where this is-
So,
My understanding is that this seems repetitive because there's your report and then we're paraphrasing of the same kind of, at least a 2/3 or half of your report into the minutes.
yeah,
So that is.
so I would just
repetitive.
attach the director's report to the minutes, make it,
Yes.
as opposed to kind of reconfiguring it into the minutes. So that must, does that make sense?
I think it does make sense. The only exception is maybe we would, if there's discussion of some of these things, then it needs to go into the
Into
the
the
regular
minutes.
part of the minutes.
Yeah.
If, for questions that got answered that seem, important enough to include in minutes, then they should be
That makes
added
sense.
by faith as part of the discussion, discussion.
Yeah, if we have an actual discussion about a point that can make some minutes, then we could have that in the regular body of the minutes. But the entire director's report could be an addendum, an attachment to the minutes that would be posted on the website. Does that make sense, people? Tom, that's not,
No, that's fine.
you're okay with that? Just like-
It doesn't look necessary, but it's
Well,
more information out there.
it's, yeah,
we
it's
should
more
be happy with
information, I think.
Well, I think it's a step forward towards transparency, which is something
Yeah.
that town has been trying to do more
That's a
of.
good thing, yeah.
So,
So have it there, but just not to be dominating the first 3 or 4 pages of the minutes.
And that maybe would make it unnecessary for Kim to read through all of her reports. Assuming that people are, we're all reading the materials that she sends out, we'll have seen that, certain things she might want to highlight, but it wouldn't have to be the laundry list of every single thing in her report to make it public.
So you want to focus on the questions and answers, the things that you discuss from the report, those will go into minutes and then Kim's report will go as an addendum.
Yeah, I think, or, you highlight certain things, Kim, then that would maybe belongs in. It sounds to me like almost like a bullet, okay, during they discussed, whatever 5 key items and then refer to the attached, the addendum, whatever.
The only counter argument I could imagine to avoiding reading out the director's report is if, folks were attending publicly and would want to understand what we were referring to and talking about, be able to follow along with us when they don't have that printout at hand.
Well, we're not talking about avoid, we're really just talking about should the director's report be the first half of the minutes.
Right.
Kim, I think what Kim does right now in terms of her report is great and good,
Right.
and I wouldn't change that.
No, I was responding specifically to the idea that we not read out the director's report. That's my counter argument to that proposal. These meetings haven't been particularly well attended by the public
Right.
recently.
No,
That's,
so it's
So it
good
hasn't
to
been an
have
issue?
the information.
Well, this
posted.
is the public who is here, nobody's here. And the public that's there, nobody's here. It's good for information to be out there.
Can I ask, so is it more the highlights portion of the report that I could further suss out what is a real highlight I want to read out loud? And the rest of that kind of remains readable later, but then reading out loud about the personnel stuff, the gift stuff, anything that's on the agenda as an actual item would be read out loud. That kind of a.
I personally have I think the way you do your director's report has been fine with me, so I don't see a need to change it, but others fine.
It's
I
good
mean,
to
just
read
in
it out
terms of-
loud because it gives an opportunity, even for something that might seem immaterial, it gives an opportunity for trustees to weigh in on
Mhm.
that,
Yeah,
ask questions and whatnot.
I'll also just note that, a lot of the highlights are recognizing staff
Yeah.
for the important work that they've been
Totally.
doing, and I would like them to be heard aloud.
Hear it out loud.
Yeah.
One thing, I'm the institutional memory. When I first joined the library, we had no agenda. The director took the minutes. The only people in the audience were the director and the trustee.
That was it.
Things have changed.
okay, so I should continue as
Do what you like, what
done,
you've been
but you
doing.
would like Faith
Fine.
to
Yeah.
not record the highlights section. Kind of like copy and paste or verbatim.
Yeah,
as
I
it's
don't
read.
see why that has to be in both
Okay.
documents.
Faith, are you?
Yeah, so not record just the discussion that's not in your
Yeah.
highlights and the items that are.
I just want to
separate
make sure you
on the
we
agenda.
have
Yeah,
it
the
on
agenda
the
item,
same page. as
Action
everyone.
item.
All right, thank you for working on that. So our next item is director's report.
Oh, you have to accept the
You
minutes.
accept the minutes.
Oh, accept the minutes, yes, that's right, okay. Do I hear a motion?
Second,
Okay,
Who
all in
made the
favor?
motion, though?
Who made the motion?
Rob, did you make the motion?
I will make a motion.
Okay.
And Tom has
Tom
seconded.
second.
Ask you for-
actually, I first.
That's right.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, passed unanimously. Good.
All right, so on to the report. I apologize, I had left something in here that was from last month at the top, but I just sent out a revision, just really removing the Kelly Linehan thing. So,
Oh, okay.
yes,
I was wondering, I didn't see her here.
I
no,
remember that.
yes. So the Friends book sale took place October 3rd and 4th and was a really big success. They brought in over $6,000, which was excellent. We submitted the library technology plan for the capital budget. That'll be a request for 3 years of funding through fiscal year 25 through 27. Right now, we're submitting for fiscal year 24, of course, but the town likes to see the planned out so they sort of know what's coming. We just wrapped up or are in the process of wrapping up spending from the previous capital item related to the library technology piece. Our operating budget for fiscal year 24 is due October 25th. So we've been working hard on all of that. Rand Cronin and Manny LeCount have done the majority of the work to get our library of things ready to put out at the circ desk. I've been getting a preview of a lot of the items. They look really exciting and look really well packaged and very easy to find information that you'll need as a patron or a user.
I'm looking forward to
Yes.
seeing all the stuff.
So we're hoping to have them out next week. And we want to thank, their part-timers, Kim Regan and Mimi Aziz, for picking up a lot of work, so that Ran and Manny could concentrate on the library things.
Thanks to Ran, Kim, and Mimi very
Yes.
much.
Yeah, very exciting. The selectors are still catching up on some ordering from the outage with Baker and Taylor that we spoke about last month. Basically, so you might see reflected, these larger chunks of money being spent out all of a sudden, and that's kind of to catch up. Yeah, we have new systems for selecting and ordering in tech services that affects selectors in other departments. And that's been running really smoothly as well. We're just, very pleased with the systems being brought about by Rand since she started in April.
Sorry, quick question on the
Yes.
previous bullet point around selectors. The second sentence, I didn't quite understand it. A few behind the scenes reports are still available.
Yeah, there's some reports from Baker and Taylor that are still unavailable for
I
us that would help with collection development, but aren't required to do some of the selection.
Got it, okay.
Yes, sorry, that wasn't clear. Let's see, so we're in the process of getting a new database that's really fun and exciting, kind of different for us. It's called Comics Plus. Comics aren't super readily available on our e-reading, platforms that we already
Mhm.
offer. And Sarah Breen found this one, researched it, and we really liked the feel and look of it. So we're gonna try it out for the year.
Fun.
Yes, and Gay Ellen has moved the newsletter to MailChimp, which I think looks really nice. Yes, so thank you to her.
Yes,
That was a big effort. We did have our event at Captain Robert Cook's Drive. It was very fun. Robin Flynn, Dimitri Kyriakis, Veronica McCarthy, Danielle Tella, and myself all attended. We registered some people for library cards. We gave away a lot of children's books, and some adult books as well, actually, but mostly the children were really happy to take a lot of books.
That's great.
And we made some really good connections with the staff there, so we're hoping to kind of have some partnerships in the future. I kind of connected them with the Friends, because the Friends, during their, kind of semi-annual or whatever book sales, they have kind of an afternoon on Sundays where they allow community organizations to come in and get books at a cheaper price or free, I think, in some instances. And so we talked to them about the folks at Captain Robert Cook Drive, because they have a community room where they have a reading center for children and things like that, and they'll want to be refreshing that library. So we're looking forward to kind of some different partnership opportunities there. Yeah. We got a lovely letter from North Hill Retirement Community that's about a visit that happened on September 8th that I spoke to you about last time, where Dimitri Kyriakis and Robin Flynn visited and talked about technology, answered a bunch of questions. So it was really nice to get like a written letter. It was wonderful. Erin Bassett had a lot of success this month with tween programming. So, often our programming is skips from the children's room, where it might be focused on younger kids to teens. And sometimes there's just that in-between age of tweens. And, she just started really trying to do some programming around that and had a lot of success. So the kids really liked it.
How does she kind of recruit? So we're talking like middle school age. Is that roughly what we're talking about?
Let's say a little older, probably. Let's say a little older,
Well,
maybe no, I guess middle school,
no,
yeah, not
no,
older,
10,
but a
11.
little bit of
10 to
aging
13
out
is
of,
fast.
Yeah.
like aging out of the children's room, but not maybe quite ready to be in the teen room either. And so that's an area of focus in libraries right now too, is specifically reaching out to that group. So I'm not sure how she recruited
Yeah.
exactly, but I
Yeah, I
think
just wonder how she
promotion,
gets
general
finds
promotion.
those kids.
Yeah,
Well, the calendar has a lot of the activities, so I haven't been through that process with
Yeah.
my tween,
Mhm.
now teen. And before that, Paula, as a kid.
Yeah.
We started with Paula. It's all, I think they do a good job at promoting the calendar in the library notes, the former library notes, it was always displayed, so I think it, and parents start talking about it on Facebook. So you
Yeah.
kind of
So
learn.
it's
Yeah.
like, okay.
I would guess it's a lot of parents reading the calendar.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I was
But
wondering.
then
yeah.
talking about it at school visits, I think will be part of the norm if we are continuing to do this, which I think we will. We completed the ARIS Financial Compliance Report for the Mass Board of Library Commissioners. That's a piece of the annual reporting that just looks at our finances and makes sure that the town is compliant with the state requirements. Which, you know, we are in good shape, luckily, so we got that done. That was due last Friday. Erin Bassett is getting ready for NaNoWriMo, which is National Novel Writing Month. So we've got some programs coming together for that. We're really excited. She's working with the high school librarian, and they've been able to secure a YA author, Francisco X. Stork, to run a workshop for tweens and teens about the writing process, and to discuss their own writing. So really looking forward to that. And Danielle Tala has completed group policies for our servers, which is basically the technology that kind of dictates how our computers act. Don't ask me too many specifics, please. I don't know. Danielle's our expert.
Thank you, Danielle.
But it is very complicated, and it's not something that a lot of libraries do. So it was really, really awesome that Danielle was able to take that on her own and kind of figure it out.
Hey, Danielle, we love to have the technology
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, it's a really big deal. Danielle also deployed open kiosk on our catalog computers, which means patrons using a catalog computer can only use it as a catalog computer. They can't go online or do anything else there. So we're excited about that as well. And outreach activities are beginning to pick up again at schools and preschools. So Paula Dugan, who's with us tonight, visited 3 classrooms of 33 children, plus several adults at the Pine Village Preschool, and visited 5th grade classes, 5th grade classrooms at Sunita Williams School. Okay. Sorry, I just wasn't sure if that was a Zoom. We are starting to receive requests from teachers, which is really great because Paula's done a lot of great work trying to get folks to realize that we're here, that we'll come to class, all of that. And so hearing back from people has been very encouraging. There's also the children's room had a Start You Reading program with Elmo, which was a big success. There were 110 attendees, and the family information fair went well and had 50 attendees. So that was really good.
That's
turnout.
great.
Yes. All right.
Elmo came, so, you know. what's not to like?
Yeah. So for personnel, we've had a few changes. We hired Anna Banton and Emily Kopp as our 2 new circulation staff, part-timers. Anna began last week on October 3rd, and Emily is actually beginning tomorrow. We're reviewing candidates for a part-time children's position. We're hoping to hire 2 people from this pool, although the pool was very small, so we'll have to see what happens there. We might have to repost for the 2nd position. We have 2 part-time reference librarian openings that close on October 12th, so that's coming right up tomorrow. And Courtney, so Courtney Trudeau is leaving the part-time children's position on October 22nd. She's going to continue working her Sunday schedule until we hire a new librarian. So we already had a pool open for a children's librarian position. And that's why we were hoping to hire 2 people out of it now that this other person is leaving. And Lee Rudikoff is leaving her part-time position in reference on November 1st. And basically the same thing there. We had posted a part-time reference position. And now that Lee is leaving, we're hoping to get 2 candidates out of that pool. So we'll see how that works out.
Question.
Yes.
Do we know why, there's a question of turnover, and Dimitri has really focused on that in the past. Do we know why the turnover? I mean, there's
Yes.
people that said
There's
full-time
tons of
position,
there's
or
tons of
leaving.
full-time children's positions all around us. So it makes sense that no matter even if we hire somebody now, we don't know how long that'll last. Virtually tons of libraries all around us. Minuteman and Eastern Massachusetts have full-time children's librarian positions, and it's ripe for the picking. So there's not a lot we could do about that. Lee has been with us for 19 years. She already has been working a full-time job at Mass Bay Community College, or their library. They have 2 campuses. I would assume she's, she made her own decision there, in terms of that. So, But the children's positions are going to be challenging. Let's see, as Kim said, we have a small pool. But there are tons of positions. I went to a forum today of assistant directors from Massachusetts, and everybody, people complaining about the hires, the libraries that are hiring full-time positions, but there's a lot of retirements, a lot of openings. It's just the way it is, unfortunately, right now. So there's nothing in particular. I'm not sure if you're going towards this, Carol, but it's just the environment we're in right now, and it's kind of a natural occurrence. It's organic.
We're seeing it across the sectors. I think, you hear about it all the time.
I don't have an answer to this by any means, but I'd be curious as we embark on the strategic plan, if that plays into the staffing element of that as well. I mean, historically, we've had a relatively high percentage of part-time versus full-time compared to peer communities. So that might be a data point if, retention is a factor with that.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Echoing both, actually, I was going to mention both. Thank you for reading my mind. I wanted to point that out that this may be a good opportunity for us to revisit our staffing, how do we resource and always, I think the town responds to peer comparisons. That seems to be a way that they can understand, when we make requests. So that's one. My question was related to Carol's point. Do we do exit interviews?
We do.
Okay, so
We did not used to. I do.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we can get, aside from the obvious supply and demand positions,
Yeah.
there could be also some information that to inform the strategic plan. Right? Depending
Yes,
on the
most
questions
people have honestly just left because they found a full-time job.
Hmm.
And our part-time is extremely part-time. That would be my biggest concern, is that a lot of other libraries have part-time where they're 19 hours a week. That's not what we do here. And I would like to shift towards more hours for the people that are part-time that are on staff.
Okay.
Because I think when you have someone who's here, how many hours does Courtney here a week usually?
Well, Courtney's 19.
Oh, Courtney's
But, the other position was like Friday afternoons
Yeah.
and alternating Saturdays. So
Yeah, so it's like a
48
4-hour-a-week
hours.
position. So
But-
you really
Oh,
aren't going to keep people that way.
What I was getting at is, I wonder if there's an opportunity during the exit interviews to ask some questions that may help inform the strategic plan. So given, depending on who they are, if people have been here a while, or if they can have suggestions to make things better. I know they're leading.
Oh,
for
yeah,
other
that's what the
reasons,
exit
but-
interview is for.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right,
that's what
right.
we're
So
trying to get out of
that,
them.
so that we can mine that information and make it available to the strategic plan.
I think some of those pieces might be confidential that but
It could be
yes,
it could
like
be
if I see
redacted,
trends,
it
I will
could
certainly
it
be
could
bringing them up.
Of course, it could be
Yeah.
redacted, it could be,
Yeah.
but.
So,
Yeah.
I think looking at our part-time actual hours per position is my biggest thing.
Yep.
Because 4 hours a week is not great for retention.
we appreciate your kind of taking a look at that and
You know,
kind of
and
maybe
the
working towards resolving. the
Yeah.
situation.
And for the initial part-time reference opening was because I reallocated hours and found a way to make a new position essentially for part-time. So we're hoping that that'll free up a good amount of staff time and reference so that we can start to do more outreach and also staff the teen room, that kind of thing.
So you're already on the case, it sounds like.
I'd like to think so. Thanks. Okay, so, okay, to move on to gifts? Okay, so Karen Tier Thomas donated Kiyomonogatari, Love Stories by Misio Inson, or Ison. It's a graphic novel, and we ordered, we have volume 1, so that was a nice donation. It was valued about $12. The Needham Garden Club donated $40 in memory of Janet O'Shea. And Dimitri Gorenberg donated an Azores travel book, like a moon travel guide, estimated value of $21. And we also got Gazing at the Sky, My Journey from Nazi-occupied and communist-dominated Poland to the United States in Pursuit of Freedom and Happiness, which was estimated about $20. So there were a lot of book donations this month that were going into the collection.
Just a quick question. These are all brand new big books that people purchase for the library as opposed to donations of old books, right? No,
I would say
because why wouldn't they just put the old books in the Friends? bin?
yes, like the Gazing at the Sky, I'm not sure when that was published.
Hmm.
You know, that would be the one that I would think we might have taken because of its significance
Oh,
and
okay.
inability to get it through a vendor.
Mhm.
But yeah, the other two are new. The Azores one was like the newest Azores guide. And there was just a long waiting list for it. And I
Oh,
wanted to get an extra copy, so.
Move to
Remember,
accept.
remember our
Yeah.
gift policy,
Yes,
we don't have to keep it.
you don't have to keep it.
Right.
Okay, yes.
Right, we make decisions when someone offers a specific, like if someone brought the Azores book and we felt like, well, we have 3 copies and maybe we don't need that, we could give that to the staff.
Carol?
Oh, I was gonna move to accept.
Oh, move to accept the
Oh,
gift
yes.
list. Okay, second.
Second.
All in favor of accepting the gift list?
Aye.
Okay, unanimously passed. Good.
Okay, so buildings and grounds. So Signet, our alarm company, came out to reconfigure part of our alarm system to be more beneficial to our needs, which is excellent. And Keen Fire Safety inspected our equipment and serviced all of our fire extinguishers. And E&E Contractors was in the building to service and replace the CO2 sensors throughout the building, and they calibrated all of our thermostats as well. The pending items that we have, the lights on the first floor by the large prints are still pending. And the sink area inside of the pantry here to accommodate, needs to be worked on to accommodate a wheelchair. Angel has reached out to his supervisor, and she has, kind of recommitted to moving these up. We're hoping to see movement on the pantry here towards the end of October. And the door alarms being fixed. We're waiting on word about when this will happen, but they are aware that we would like to get it moving. And, they've been very responsive to our other needs lately, so I'm hopeful that we'll have it
That's
settled
been
as
on the
well.
list since I became trustee. I don't ever remember it not
Well,
being
I'm
there.
hoping it will not be for too much longer.
I think it died of old age, the old request, and it got a new number.
Oh,
maybe
I got
much
a new
later.
Yeah, I think so.
Ever
I was just remembering from the minutes, did the Bluestone get reconditioned?
Oh, you know what? Angel did the outside, but he has not done the inside yet.
Okay.
And the parking lot got done actually today, so it wasn't on my report, but
Oh,
it
nice.
happened. Yes. Yes. Those are, I don't know how those work in terms of a work order. They're not like a pending work order. It's just like a fun bonus thing that happens, kind of, like it's sort of Angel felt like it should be done and that kind of thing. So that was on the list here. But yes, it is still supposed to happen. All right. So for financial reports, we had regular spending this month on Canopy and Overdrive. Sorry, I just want to get out my reports. And you'll see, so that's for state aid, sorry. Just regular spending. And then you'll see 2 of the budget and expenditure reports. One is the final report for fiscal year 22, because everything is now paid out. So that's the final report. So just 2.4% of the total budget was not spent out. The biggest portion of that was on the salaries piece, which was just not something we could really, spend out. But I was very happy with the numbers
Yeah.
for the expenses and books and everything, which was
And the leftover 2.4, that just goes back to the town.
correct. Yeah, yep. So only $1,000
Mhm.
or just over $1,000 went back for the expenses. So I was
Alright.
very pleased with that.
Yes, hit target.
Yes. So, yeah. And we're on track, for where we are in the year. When you look at the 23 report, I would say our expenses are, for books, the percentage is slightly higher than we'd like, but that was kind of because we're still in catch-up mode from Baker and Taylor having been down.
Mm.
Okay, and so the trust fund. So the Weller Fund had a disbursement of $198.71 for young adult audiobooks from Findaway. The Hatch Fund had a disbursement of $4,846.85. That was mostly for security cases and what they're called docs that kind of go on a counter and unlock those security cases from showcases. And those are for the video games that are coming. We had about 1,000 of that for children's book from Baker and Taylor, 350 for YA books from Baker and Taylor, about 583 for large print books from Cengage, 223 for large print books from Centerpoint, and 1,619 for children's launch pads and playways from Findaway. We are trying to spend out what what we had done in the planned spending document for these funds for different collections. And the PDF had a disbursement of $5,143.23. $1,023 was for YA books from Baker and Taylor, $3,315 for adult fiction books from Baker and Taylor, $153 for children's movies from Baker and Taylor, $434 for adult movies, and $54 for large print books from Cengage, $30 for large print books from Centerpoint, and $131 for English language learning books from Ingram. That's a mouthful. Yes. For the statistical report, we were pleased to see an increase of 6% in circulation from July to August. August 22 was also higher than August 21, which is just great to see overall trending upwards. We registered 205 new library patrons, which is up nearly 30% from July. So that was a big improvement. And we were seeing a lot more traffic, computer use, study room use, and program attendance overall in August than July, which I think makes sense as people came back for school and things like that. They're coming into the library a lot. Yes, Anne.
From the 205 reading note, do you have a breakdown children versus adults
For which number?
for the 205 new patrons?
No, I don't have that on me. Yeah, we just get a straight number of how many people registered that were new.
But it's individuals, not household.
Is individuals, yes.
One thing is, adult movies, I think there's a better term for that.
I know. It catches me every time I see it too.
Grown-up movies.
Yeah, just movies probably. And we
Yeah.
can just assume that it doesn't say children's. Yeah,
We don't want to have too many people
no,
knocking down the doors.
that's why Cirque's up. Yeah. Okay, so were there any other questions around the?
Could we back up to the financials?
Sure.
For the trust funds,
Yes.
I meant to look this up myself. Did we, were the income numbers for fiscal 22 posted to the trust funds? There's always a delay after the end of the fiscal year before.
Oh, that'll
the commission-
happen usually the end of October, November.
So it has
And now
not
with
happened.
Eddie Purness has retired, who was doing that
Yeah.
each year. I'm not sure if that'll happen in as timely manner this year, but it's typically that would come before you in November usually.
Yeah, well, yeah,
ish,
it varies,
you know,
yeah.
But
So you're
they're
asking-
supposed to get the report in September or October and then report to us what the interest was.
So these numbers do not.
No, this does not
reflect
reflect that.
fiscal 22
No, I would
income-
call that out to,
Income to
yes,
each.
yes, you would get that.
Good
report.
question, Carol. Thank you.
Never mind. I think you have a separate agenda item for switching around some of the state aid.
Yes.
Yeah, never mind. Yeah. We'll get to it.
Oh, yes, I was gonna have Paula speak to us first. So, okay. So new business. So Paula Dugan is here, our children's supervisor. And she's going to give us a presentation about the summer reading program. I wanted to have some staff come on occasion to talk about kind of the great things that are going on and give you a little just a little presentation. So that's what Paul is here to do.
And are any of the children's staff here tonight to hear your presentations?
It might be, I think,
I think some of them are gonna watch it on
No?
YouTube afterwards. So summer reading keeps children building their reading skills and vocabulary during the time they're out of school. They start signing up in May, either online, on a mobile app, or on paper at the library. They read and log the time that they spend reading. They need to read for a total of 16 hours over the summer to complete the program. So when they join, they get what we call a brag tag. So it's a little plastic tag with an emblem of the program on it and a neck chain. And they get one free book that they get to pick out, which is donated by the friends, and a pass for the entire family to the USS Constitution Museum. They receive beads to put on their neck chain for every 2 hours of reading that they did. If they read for 8 hours, which is about halfway through, they got a coupon from McDonald's for a free ice cream cone. It's a little encouragement to keep them going and reading. And if they completed the 16 hours, they received another free book, and they were eligible to win a grand prize by random drawing. We gave out 42 grand prizes, including a Kindle Fire, passes and discounts to attractions, a gift card, puzzles, board games, and stuffed animals.
oh yes, and sorry, Paul, let me just interrupt. There's some pictures showing that
Oh.
are from some of the events, so.
Oh,
So
yeah,
what-
that'll actually, Danielle, that'll be for like the very end. Or now.
That's okay, I'll text her. All right.
So this year, the Children's Department had 1,025 children register for summer reading.
Wow.
Of those, 882 registered online and 143 registered on paper. We had 25 programs for preschoolers over the summer and 31 programs for school-aged children. So that was a total of 56 programs. 1,059 people attended the preschool programs and 602 attended the school-age programs. So the total attendance was 1,661. And the theme for this year's summer reading program was called Beyond the Beaten Path. It was all about camping and nature. So I created a story for summer reading. When children signed up, they were enrolled in the fictitious Adventure Trail Camp. And for every 2 hours of reading they logged, they received a little bit of a camping themed digital badge and a story about their adventures along the trail. So in the papers that I gave you, you have the paper reading log, and that shows the trail and the destinations along it every 2 hours of reading. And on the back are the badges and the story. So everything we did in the children's room helped execute the camping theme. We decorated the room with camping decorations. Lucia Dolan created monthly camping themed scavenger hunts in the children's room. Gina Favida found many sites to link to our webpage about nature, camping, and parks. I created a scavenger hunt, a nature scavenger hunt using Carolyn Davis's suggestion of the Red Wing Bay Park. So this is also in your packet. Families look for items in nature, mark them on the sheet while they roam the walking trail, and then they return the sheet to the library for a prize. The back of the sheet provided information about items they were looking for, like whether a plant was native or invasive and how many species of dragonflies there are. And this activity was featured in Moving in Libraries, which is a national online magazine for librarians that focuses on libraries encouraging health, exercise, and outdoor activities. We participated in the First Lady and Blades Summer Reading Challenge. This was created by the Mass Board of Library Commissioners, and libraries around the state can choose to participate. So the First Lady is the governor's wife, and Blades is the bear mascot for the Boston Bruins. We set a reading goal and reached our goal, so we were entered in a prize drawing for a Bruins prize, and we won a Bruins jersey signed by the team. So that will be sent to us by the Mass Board of Library Commissioners, and we'll raffle it off to one of the children in the Bruins Challenge that will have the most reading. And now, Danielle. All of our programs were live and in person. So if we have the photos. Here we go. So we started off with a live animal program. This is a picture of a nature craft and trail walk on the Rosemary Pond Trail with a presenter from the Audubon Society. We had monthly camp crafts with Courtney, who's one of our librarians. This is learning to play camp songs on a ukulele. We had Druid craft about nature and mythology that inspired around the world.
So who are these guys?
This is Pete and Chris. They did a camping themed comedy show with a lot of slapstick and magic. We had Native American drumming and powwow dancing. Comedy, yeah, we did that. And outdoor nature survival program. And this is the magic show, a camping themed magic show that we ended with. And after the magic show, children were able to complete several different crafts. They could get their picture taken in a canoe and receive a free book and nature observation journal from Head Start.
Picture taken in a canoe. That's
And we promoted the program through the library webpage, Facebook, school visits at the end of the school year, the Hometown Weekly, the Needham channel, the sign at the transfer station, and the farmer's market. Elise Katz went to the farmer's market each month with a craft and information to promote the library and summer reading. And Veronica McCarthy created the summer reading section of our webpage with information and a video explaining the program. And let me know if you have any questions.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I miss those programs. I miss them. I know my son has probably moved on, but I'm.
I know.
I know.
How are
I
you
enjoy
feeling
them.
about the, the number of kids who, I guess it was about 1,000 who signed up for some reason somewhere. And are you feeling like that's a good number? Are you feeling like you wish you were reaching more? Do you feel like you're like getting overcrowded, or how does that?
This year was our highest number,
Oh, wow.
even pre-COVID.
Yeah.
Usually we were climbing from like 700, 800, 900. 900 was, 900 some odd was our highest number pre-COVID.
Okay.
Then of course it dropped
Yeah,
dramatically
right, of
during
course.
COVID and just started to rebuild the next year. So this was a really good year for registrations.
It's really cool how you integrated a public space in Needham into the, getting kids outdoors.
Yep.
That's a really cool aspect of that.
And the children, are they completely picking their own books, or are there recommended reading selection to choose from, or how do
The
you?
school has
do
a
that?
recommended reading list,
School has
which is put together by their school librarians.
Mhm.
So we get a copy of the list ahead of time and we buy multiple copies and put them, in a special place where they can just go and browse what's checked in.
Oh, I see, okay. So they
And
have to
then-
choose from that list.
Yep, they
Yeah,
can
okay.
choose from that list. We also put together book lists by grade level for the theme. So if they wanted to read along the theme, they could do that. But the kids are welcome to read whatever they want, and anything they read, they can log.
Oh, okay. Good. Okay. Other questions for Paula?
Thank you, Paula.
Thank you
Okay,
very
thank
much.
you.
Fabulous.
Thanks,
you doing?
Danielle.
And I hope that your children staff log on and, and watch, your presentation, and also the fact that how much we appreciate what they do.
What are you doing for Halloween?
We have a pumpkin magnet craft, and we have Diane Edgecombe, who's a very well-known local storyteller, is going to do Once Upon a Halloween with a bubbling cauldron.
That sounds spooky.
Yeah.
Thanks, Paula.
Thank you so much, Paula.
Thank you.
And thank you to the children's department for doing that.
Yes.
Okay.
Next
So-
item,
Jackson Conklin.
our So I thought I would talk a little bit about this next item, which it's part of the process for, as you know, we recently suspended our lending policy. And so we're trying to get essentially the ducks lined up to get ready to revisit and consider that policy again. So one of the things that we needed to do, and Kim can probably explain this in more depth, but is to find out, what our holdings are and make sure that they're appropriately appraised and insured. Kim, you want to?
Yes, so they're insured by the town's policy and the town has them assessed at a certain, price. But that has been about 10 years, I think, since they were appraised. And as Kay has pointed out, I think in previous meetings, it looked like some other wide paintings had really risen in value. So we want to get an accurate assessment. Because whatever that number is likely going to change the town's insurance and the town's approach to us lending things out, or rather what their insurance company would tell us the requirements are for lending out artwork in the future. And it's just a good idea to do, but I think once a decade.
Yeah, seems reasonable. The art market changes, swings wildly, and so I've done a little research and have identified a possible art appraiser who I won't name yet because the town's looking at making sure that this is the person that they feel comfortable working with. But the person I identified has long history of work as an art appraiser with the Museum of Fine Arts. She was working with the big Skinner auction house in Boston for many years. She appraises for PV Essex Museum, the Fog Art Museum, the Cape Ann, the Trustees Reservation, the Mass Historical Society, and also works on Antique Roadshow on a regular basis. You might be interested to know, Jay. And she's taught art history and has lectured widely on American art, American painting. So she's a highly skilled and experienced art appraiser and sounds very reasonable in terms of her prices. I was actually pleasantly surprised to hear. So Kim, can you explain the possible funding here?
Yes, so we're asking to reallocate some of the state aid money. I think it would, $2,000 would more than cover what we've been told the cost would be, but I'd like to make sure that we have it if things come up. So we were hoping to pull that from the strategic planning consultant encumbrance, which is currently at $25,000. Sorry. Because we're not going to be expending that all in that place. So I think that's the appropriate place to take it from. But the artwork, like you said, hasn't been appraised in several years. If it's approved tonight, we would hopefully have this person coming in on the 13th, which is Thursday. We are just waiting for Dave Davison to sign off that this person has the appropriate background to satisfy the insurance company's requirement for the appraisal, because you can do an appraisal not for insurance purposes or for insurance purposes, and they have to be appropriately not certified, but just credentialed. Yeah. So either way, we're going to need some money set aside for this, whether we go with that person or not. But at least now we have a good idea of the rates, which is about $150 for a walkthrough to see sort of what we have, and then about $1,000 to actually appraise the art. So again, the $2,000 probably won't all be used up, but
And it's an hourly, she charges on an hourly basis.
yeah, so it kind of depends on how many things we identify as actually in need of appraisal
And the more that
where
we
those
can
stand.
give her in terms of documentation, which
Yes, which
we're doing right now. Danielle's
Yeah,
been
Danielle.
researching, and I actually, the wonderful thing I discovered and through our historic society today is that almost all the paintings we hold here are documented at the Brandywine Museum, which has a huge Wyeth collection, and a lot of the provenance. A painting's value is very dependent on the paper record that shows when it was donated to whom, by whom, and if that's not there, then the value drops. So a lot of what we have is very well documented. So we're happy to. I was happy to discover that today. And Danielle's also digging to see what documents we have here on site, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tom has a.
Done.
Many times we've had these appraised,
Mhm.
and Skinner has done them.
Skinner's done. Okay. See,
Skinner's done
we
it,
didn't
yeah.
know who had done it,
Yeah,
so,
yeah, they've done them many times.
so
At
Well,
least
we'll
two or
write that
three
down in
times
case
I
this
remember.
doesn't
Yeah,
work
so-
out.
And-
the
and I
person
was
we're looking
thinking,
at
you
has
know,
worked with
one
Skinner
of the
many
things is
years.
they already appraised them, so they have
They'll be
that
interesting.
background before, they have the,
Oh, yeah.
they have the information, so maybe you don't
They're
have
not
to
starting from
reinvent the
square
wheel,
one.
because they have all that provenance and all that information.
Yeah.
Okay, and
Before.
I can mention it to this person. She's worked for Skinner a lot.
You
So
know,
she,
does her name begin with C?
yes.
Yeah, CF?
Yes,
Yes, yeah,
okay.
I know,
Good.
I've seen her on road too. She spelled her first name wrong.
She
Not like
said,
your
yeah, she
daughter.
puts an E on the
And
end.
My daughter
yes.
spells it different.
That's good, Tom. All right, you're on the case. Good.
So,
So I would ask for a motion to approve $2,000 being moved from the strategic planning consultant line item in state aid to a separate line item to, for expenditure on the appraisal of the Wyatt Art.
that's a move.
Okay, second.
Second.
All in favor?
Well, wait a second.
Oh,
wait,
no,
Discussion.
discussion, sorry.
Discussion. You know,
also,
maybe it's not a lot of money, but whatever, but if she have all the original appraisal, which should have all that provenance and stuff listed?
Anyone that comes in is gonna have all the documentation we have, whether it's that
Okay,
person or
Okay,
not.
so that's.
Yeah, we're not
So
settled
they
on that
shouldn't
person
have to
for
do
years in the town.
that much more,
Sure.
So-
because we haven't added new, and, you know, I'm sure the cow is like, you know, there's one thing that we thought was a Wyatt, didn't turn out. to
We
be.
sure did not
Even
turn
though
out
some
very
people
well.
it's debatable. But
Oh,
when
okay.
Andrew Wyatt came here, he saw it and said, that's not my cow. We said we could do it.
Okay,
That was the Maverick, the cow, the lost cow.
well, I wish
I'm
I
sure
had
that's what-
realized that you had this much background
Oh, yeah.
information, Tom.
Oh,
I
I've
would have
gone to I
asked you
gone to
to
an auction,
start.
we tried to buy it, we using trust funds, we tried to buy it. But I think we were up to $3,000 and that's all we had, and it went for more.
I wouldn't go very far today, that's for sure.
That'll get you
Many
the
years
corner
ago.
of it.
All right, and Kim, you had something else you wanted to?
Oh, I said the motion out loud and then, I don't know. Yeah,
No.
you said, okay, great.
Earhart, second?
No, Anna. seconded.
You were
Carol
together, so-
moved.
That's okay, thank you.
Okay, do you have the essence of the motion?
Yes, I do. It's on the recording too.
Okay, then, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Jay, you say aye?
I said aye.
Jay, okay, that's right. Sorry, I'm forgetting you're up there, Jay.
I'm saying aye whenever I'm supposed to say aye.
Okay. And all opposed? No, so that's passed. Good, wonderful. Hopefully we'll hear back and I
I
have
hope
to
so.
get in touch with CF.
Mhm.
We're on record.
That's crazy.
Okay, so where are we here?
Old business now.
Okay. Okay, so the summary of the trustees library of future discussion, which Rob so kindly and efficiently put together, and we all received today. Did we have any discussion? Or, I thought it was a very nice and succinctly done. This is the document. Anybody captured it all very well, and
Thank you for doing that.
Good.
Yeah.
I would just thank Rob for doing such a great job of summarizing the comments.
Well, sorry I wasn't sooner, but if anybody does have any comments, I'm happy to revise it.
yeah, and I think the idea would be for us, if we all, that we would take a vote to just accept it and pass it on to Kim and Kelly for their, consideration as part of the gathering of ideas for the strategic plan. Does that make sense to everybody?
Question, I have
Yes.
a comment. So is this going to be treated as a living document? Because at least on my end, after I had looked at my notes and then now with reading all of this, I feel like it's kind of
kind of created a few more questions that, like, I want to go deeper in some of the points here. So I'm wondering how, I guess I'm curious about how we're going to treat this document. Right?
Well,
Which
what-
documents? do you mean?
This document,
Oh,
this
this
summary.
The summer.
Yeah, if it's going to be, what I was thinking is perhaps we want to think of it as a living document so we can add more, change, or if as we continue to explore, for example, some of the comments from almost all of you, there's like, oh, that's a great point. What about this? What about that? Which I'm not going to go into detail right now, but I'm wondering if there may be, your opinion, all of your opinion about what is your intent, or how do you see this?
Any
I think
thoughts?
one question for that is, when does this go to Kelly? Because I think that's kind of one of the primary work streams here, is for this to go to the strategic planning group and consultant. Really this is kind of our feedstock of information that's going over to them. So at that point, it would probably have to be more or less locked down, and then anything in addition to it could, I suppose, be sent over outside of the summary.
So I think this document was meant to capture the discussion that was had, right? And in the next kind of item on the old business, we'll be talking a little bit about the process for the strategic planning focus groups. I would say if you had further thoughts, that would be the place to kind of, with deeper thinking after reading through all of this. That's really the ideal conduit for getting that information to Kelly at this point. Her role is not like necessarily accepting a bunch of individual inputs continuously from trustees. So we want to make sure it's coming as a streamlined thing. So this document, as a reflection of the conversation that she witnessed and has her own notes about as well, and we have recorded, I think is great for her to have. But further commentary, I think, would come through the focus groups.
And there's no reason.
And
we
the survey,
couldn't
I'm so
keep it-
sorry, the survey.
And
We'll have
survey.
a survey.
So there's no reason we, the trustees, couldn't maintain this as a living document. We pass on what we have because they need consultant needs to have, as you said, some information that she's gathering and incorporating now. But if we want to, for our purposes of the future, keep it as a living document, I think that we can do that too. So here we hand it off. Eric?
I mean, one other idea is, if each of us individually had things that we wanted to elaborate on, I assume we could send them to you and you could pass them on to Kelly. I don't think we'd want to be pummeling Kelly with regular email from all of us as we have new ideas. But if we could send them to you to compile in some kind of tidy fashion, if we were to have elaborations and then you could hand those over, that might be one way to do that.
I do think that the idea is to have the focus group be the place for a lot more of that,
Okay.
because it is the community, like the plan is responding to community, not just the trustees.
Yeah, no,
So
I
I
meant
think-
only elaborations on this.
Oh,
Like,
yes.
you
yes,
hand them this
yes,
as it is.
Yes.
And then if we
That I
had
think-
individually
yes.
something we needed to elaborate on, we could send that to you and you
Sure.
could send that comment.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And I think that's part of the discussion is if there are any points that people feel like, oh, this wasn't exactly what I intended or whatever,
Mhm.
we should be discussing that now so that we can fix it before it's.
Yeah, is
Kind of
there
ready to go
anything
over?
that somebody would like to go in and change, add, or correct?
Yeah, that's why I was asking how folks were, seeing how they, what was, so that I could not tell you that.
Okay,
There's one of my points,
And I'm not gonna put this in the minutes because it's Rob's report, so he'll make the edits. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
yeah,
Fine with
there's,
me.
there is the last bullet on the right here, there is, I had made a comment about, community outreach. And I don't think it's in
the
here.
last bullet on the right.
There is there is 3 bullets on the far right.
Yeah, under your name.
And yes, and there is no, I don't see it here, maybe I didn't find it anywhere else. There is other trustees were commenting on community outreach, which is very important.
Almost everybody mentioned that, yeah.
Yes. I made a comment that to consider expanding the definition of community outreach. Why? Because folks were saying, and this in the recording, I'm pretty sure, everybody's saying that, most people are saying, how are we gonna reach out to the people who don't come to the library, who are not here? And I said, what if for logistical, caregiving reasons, cultural reasons, people don't want to come to the library? So how do we redefine community outreach? Are we going to stay local? Are we going to go beyond the town? Are we going to go virtual? I make that point, so I can.
You
send
want
a
to
note.
create a bullet point?
Yeah, I'll be happy
that-
to do it.
that
I
you
just
can
wanted to.
insert And,
Yeah, I'll be happy to do it, and I'll put it, I'll add it there, unless it's, I don't know if it's a PDF.
You know, if you, I think it was a Word doc, but even if you send me an email, I
Oh,
can just
yeah,
pop
yeah,
it
yeah.
in there and then send that out.
Yeah, okay, so that's one point. The second point is, and that's why I was trying to figure out, this, in looking at this document, is very thorough. I think the one thing that I am trying to figure out how to incorporate here for focus groups or survey or whatnot is kind of looking at the bigger picture, how, for example, book banning. There are all these issues that are happening, and we're in the libraries in the midst of how do we navigate the changing conditions of how information is being disseminated, how the information is being even, taken in or approved or not, so there is our conversation was very much on the nuts and bolts and some a little bit outside, but I'm wondering how to make some statements about, the library in the ecosystem of everything else that is happening. I don't know if
Can I
I'm
make a
getting
point
to.
that we have a very definite point on that, under
I didn't,
mine,
okay,
which says, in a world of disinformation and misinformation, how can the library become a home base for truthful and accurate information? And consider some options such as learning sessions and handouts for.
But Anna, if you'd like to add that under yours, feel free
yeah,
just to add that.
I'm going
too,
a
and I
little
can-
beyond, yeah, that's real, yes, that's a
it's-
start, but I think, there's, and which ties it to equity and inclusion and social justice and all that. So I feel like we really went in on the operational, but there is also, we have an equity and inclusion resolution. We passed policy on banning books. So I just want to make sure that doesn't get lost, and I don't know if it'll fit into the focus groups or the survey, So that's what I
Yep.
wanted to share.
And so if you would put those 2 or 3 bullet points.
Yeah,
and
I'll
send
do
them
it.
off to Rob,
I
and
just
he
wanted
can
to share with you
incorporate
to
them.
see what your thoughts were.
Yeah, I mean, those are all, I think, great.
Yeah,
and
I'll,
important points.
Anytime over the next day, because I think the focus groups start in 2 days.
Yeah, I would say there's no rush really, like the end of the week would be,
Okay.
in the beginning of next week,
Yeah,
we're gonna be compiling all this information for a month or two now. So, yeah, there's.
Can I ask a question about the focus groups?
Yes, Jay.
Can you hear? I've seen there have been some messages about it on Facebook, but I wasn't sure if we've used other methods, including the Needham Town Weekly thing, and Representative Garlick has a regular thing. Are we distributing the information about the focus groups in a variety of ways to reach people who may not be on, your traditional social media like Facebook?
Yes, and I'll cover that in my update about the strategic plan. But
Okay.
yes,
Okay.
short answer. Yes.
Yes, yeah.
On the point of anything to be added to this. I'm wondering, as one question of mine, which I did not mention, but should we be having a third, we have a mission, a vision statement? Should we have a DEI statement as part of our strategic plan as a statement, as a separate statement? We have our resolution that the board passed in June 2020.
Mhm.
And we followed along, we're trying to implement that, but, I think it would do us, seems like it might be worth having an equity statement right there. Mission, vision, but a separate one, just because, it really is covered, but, being something that, put it as a separate piece, I think.
Mhm.
So that would be a question, whether we should do that.
You want to have that as a bullet point under your name,
Under
include an
questions
equity
and the
statement
third.
along with the mission vision.
Yeah, on the third column, yeah.
Any other additions, omissions, edits to this document? Because I think we will probably vote to accept it with the amended additions at this point. And if we want to continue to have it, on our, on our Google Drive site as a living document where we trustees can edit it and change it and work with it over time, we can do that.
Yeah, it depends on how it is best used for the strategic plan purposes. So if they wanted to stop to be, a deadline for it, I'm fine
Okay.
with whichever way.
All right,
It's
so I
more
think,
of-
yes, I think I do want it.
Yeah, and that's fine. That's why I wanted to know which
Yeah.
way would you like to do it, and
Okay.
then we'll do it that
Good.
way.
All right, so then we're settled on that. So, do I hear a motion to accept this summary of the trustees brainstorming session on the future of the library with the amendments that will be sent to Rob?
So move.
Okay, and we have a second. Any discussion, Earhart? Is that questioning? Okay.
Well, I have another, I have a question which may be a separate motion. But I was curious, do we want to enter this into the minutes? As a document that's appended to this meeting, even though technically it happened at last meeting.
It's,
Yeah, I wasn't sure whether to make a reference to it in the minutes for last time, but I think it's a good idea to incorporate that into the minutes for this session.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like as trustees that are representing this, the town,
Community,
and
right?
saying like, this is kind of what we're offering in our first thoughts to
So the
the,
document as an appendix, just
Yeah.
like Kim's report will be an appendix.
yeah.
But you don't want it to be to go with last month's minutes.
with this,
You want it
with
to go
this
to
set of
this.
minutes.
Yeah,
I-
this is
I-
the month but we're voting on it.
I think we can acknowledge that Rob prepared that summary, that we prepared the summary following last, and we'd like to, now that we've reviewed the summary, have it entered into the record.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good.
It will be the edited one, right?
Yeah.
The edited, yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
it seems to me the only drawback to doing that is that these are initial thoughts. And it just. does not-
Preliminary thoughts, yeah.
Yeah, it should have,
Yeah,
should have a
Can you do
title.
that,
that
Rob, when
sort
you
of-
kind of make it, title it sort of proposed, I don't know how you want to say, give it some
I can make it,
legal room.
I can make it clear that, this is a summary of discussions. This is a non-exclusive summary of thoughts from one particular meeting, rather than, this is not our end all be all of the
Right.
entire process.
Yeah.
This is just a summary of a brainstorming session.
Okay,
And that should frame it. And really, everything that's in there is on the record as part of the reporting anyway. So there's nothing in there that's going out there that's not already out there in a different form.
but we don't want it to have it perceived as sort of a document that we.
Final anything.
A final
Right.
anything.
This is not guiding anything. It's just a collection of thoughts.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the point. All right, so other than that, do we have any other further discussion before a vote? No? All right, so all in favor of referring this on with the amendments discussed tonight to Kim and Kelly, Lynn, Ann, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? No opposed, so pass unanimously. Good.
And I'll refer to it as the second appendix, and then you can just attach what you see, but then we don't have to go back and forth. Okay.
So, and the strategic planning updates. So this past month, Sarah Breen, Danielle Tawa, and Rand Cronin worked on a document kind of compiling a bunch of demographics for Needham for myself and our consultant Kelly Linehan to review. That's going to be really helpful. It's a good base of kind of just what's going on in the community and some of the other communities around us. So we'll be looking at that more closely this coming month. Kelly and I coordinated on what days and times would work for her and some of these groups for focus groups. So we're having a focus group on Thursday for the staff. So that's not public. And then on Wednesday, the 19th, we're having one for select members of town management, high-level folks at different departments. That again is not public, but we kind of, some of you alluded to it last month. You know, we just kind of want to know, you know, what they see as the changes coming up in the community, things like that. You know, they work with all kinds of different public that we might not see, and have, you know, should have good insight into those groups that they can share with us. But also we want to be thought of when things happen in the town, because we are a resource for them as well. So we want to hear from them.
Good.
Then we'll have 3 public Zooms, sorry, not Zooms, 3 public groups. One will be October 19th at 6 p.m. That is in person. Saturday, October 22nd at 10 a.m. is a public Zoom. And then Tuesday, October 25th, we're hosting one that is specifically aimed at parents of minors, so anyone with children under 18. And so that's public as well. And we are sending invitations to elected and appointed boards and groups kind of as a special treatment, just so they know we're thinking of them, that kind of thing, to invite them to those public meetings. And we're publicizing it on our website, social media channels, and we've asked to include it in News You Needham. Hopefully it will be in this Fridays. And, you know, I'll take Jay's suggestion about Garlic's newsletter, and I'll write for people and see if we can get it publicized there as well, because that would be great. The surveys are in the final stages of being completed. We'll have a general survey. We'll have a survey geared towards parents with children under 18. And then we'll have one for teens as well. We really felt like we wanted to get their input, especially as we go into this space planning process too. And one of the needs that we see being a space for the teens to be kind of more contained and have community. But we felt we probably wouldn't get great attendance at a focus group geared towards just teens. So we felt like our best bet would be to get a survey, and Erin's going to work closely with us on that, promoting it at the high school and just talking to all the teens that are in the building all the time. So the trustees kind of are invited to come to any of the public meetings. I think there was discussion about whether or not, because the strategic plan is under the trustee purview, if you come to participate, quorum becomes an issue. If none of the trustees are participating, then it's not.
So, or we could
so
just
we-
come to observe, right, and not speak. That would
Yes.
probably, we could be in the
Yes.
same room together.
But not deliberating.
But not
Not
deliberating, so you
deliberating,
couldn't
yeah.
say anything. Yep. This-
Otherwise, it's rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah, yeah.
So does that apply when you're coming as a citizen?
Yes, because the strategic plan is under your purview and you are then giving input on the outcome of that, you are then considered to be deliberating. So we had some discussion about that. I checked in with town hall too to make sure I understood the open meeting law. And wanted to give you some time to discuss, maybe some people might want to go to the parents one or whatever, like to figure that out, because I don't think you can do it via email either. It's deliberating.
Could we simply post these meetings?
Could you what?
Could we simply post these meetings as, you know, public meetings that including the trustees, so we don't have to worry so much about that issue, or
We could post the,
post these focus groups?
these focus groups as a public meeting, as a trustee meeting.
Isn't there a 2-week requirement for that? Maybe not 2 weeks.
48 hours.
48
okay,
hours.
2 days.
normally.
48 hours. So the first one's October 19th, so
But
that's,
also, if we attend via Zoom and we just unmute it, we can just listen,
You
Yes.
can,
and
yes.
that's it.
Yes.
We don't
And
And that
need
is
to-
totally
participate,
fine.
if you're there but don't say anything,
Right.
it's not an issue. If three or fewer of us are there, it's not an issue. It's only when there's more than three trustees in the
It's
same.
Halloween, I have a disguise.
What?
So, excuse me, Kay, so even if we're there, four of us there without speaking is an issue? Is that what I heard? No, no, no. Okay,
That's not
so,
an
so if we are just, we are aware of it.
But it's more, I think, to your point earlier too about that document being a living document or having other thoughts, since having that discussion, if you were hoping to participate
Oh,
at a
yeah,
focus
well, now
group,
that we know this.
you'll have to kind of figure out
Look
how
around,
to,
and see
Yeah.
who's there.
yeah.
Question about, so this is for all the public meetings, for the people, you know, are the trustees invited to the ones, the town officials, or are we not? We're not.
No,
And do town officials include town meeting members? Or?
unless if they work for the town and
Oh,
are a
so it's-
department head
oh,
of a
the
town
town
department.
Administrators. it sounds like.
Okay. because
Yeah.
I am.
It's like town management.
Oh, okay. okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
three of us.
So,
on-
like,
oh,
Kate-
there are actually
It's not
four of us
elected-
on
It's
town
not
meeting
town
here.
elected officials.
No,
Okay,
we are
very
inviting
elected,
elected
okay.
officials to the public meetings.
Oh.
Yes,
okay,
yes. So the town management one is, you know, Kate Fitzpatrick, Dave Davison, Katie, and then about 20 other people that are either department managers
Got it.
or
Okay, okay.
assistant
Anybody from
department
schools?
managers. I'm sorry?
Schools.
Any from schools?
Yes, we invited the superintendent and asked him to please
Designate.
have someone come if they could.
Great.
And public housing would be in the regular general meeting. Folks from public housing.
There's whatever department head is over some of that, like, I think we have.
Okay.
Yeah.
With the housing authority directive.
I believe, yeah,
That would be exactly somebody that would find. for sure.
yeah, I'll check on it.
Also, I wonder if you might want to have, extend a personal invitation to town meeting members. Teddy, you can actually, if you have one
Good idea.
invitation, and you just tell them which ones to attend, right?
She's invited to the town management one.
No, I know,
Are you
I'm
saying that-
I'm saying that to invite town meeting members.
Oh, yes. We did send out an invitation to all the liaisons to any elected groups or appointed groups and anyone,
You have?
yes,
I haven't done
There
that.
there is a,
they may not have done it.
Oh,
there is the town has a website where you can send emails to every town meeting member by precinct.
yeah.
So it would not be a bad idea to send those. out.
Yeah,
Well, what I was thinking is just to send your invitation to Teddy and she can send it to her. She has access to everything.
Ask Teddy to send it
she
out.
was on
Yeah.
an email asking her to send it to everyone.
Okay, great.
Yes,
great.
Because
I
you
haven't
can't
heard it from her
necessarily
yet.
control what she does.
No,
but
no,
yeah.
but the idea
But
here.
it is,
the idea-
it is with her already, yes.
The idea here is to build a relationship with town meeting members and go
Mhm.
back, to ask for.
You know, and as a town
Yeah,
meeting member, you also could reach out to Teddy and say, you know, would you be willing to
but
share?
I don't want to go
Yeah.
over.
But Kim,
Kim's-
Kim
you know,
just said
I
he's
will send
already
a
done it.
second
host.
email to Teddy specifically, but I
Yeah.
have already given her that and asked to
Yeah.
ask.
Yeah,
Yes.
Kim is the host, I don't want to.
Okay, I mean, it's our, you know, we can do it too. We can talk to Teddy.
Oh, yeah, I talk to her all the time.
So the fact that I registered for one of these doesn't matter as long as I do not speak. You know, we won't have to worry about how many of us
No, you
signed
can
up for
speak
that particular.
unless
session.
there are three.
You have to wait to see if you
Yeah.
can even
Well,
tell.
or you can split it up now if you
Yeah, I
wanted
was
to,
gonna
which is why I was
say,
bringing it up.
I know
Yeah.
I signed up for the Saturday Zoom one, which was the only one I couldn't.
In all honesty. Teddy's pretty busy right now.
Yeah. so
Oh, yeah, with the
I-
election.
With the town meeting coming up on the 24th and the election. And
Yes.
as a matter of fact, I think early voting starts, I know they have a meeting about early voting tomorrow.
So she's got a lot on her plate.
Yes, she does.
So that makes me think also,
So it might be better for us to reach out.
well,
To the town meeting.
Or
if you
Do it
put
directly.
there is
Yeah.
if you have an invitation, there is a Facebook page for town meeting members.
Oh,
I-
no, I wouldn't go with that.
No,
No, that's not.
then you know how to do it then?
No, what you do is go to the.
But you have to do, it per precinct and per
Each
person.
precinct.
Yes.
And you would go to what, the town website to do it?
The town has
Or the town
created a
Facebook
way to
page?
communicate with.
Town
people.
website has a thing on a town meeting, and all the town meeting members' emails. You can send every email to everybody in precinct G.
Does anyone want to
If-
volunteer to do
If,
that?
Well, we can definitely do that, like,
Yeah,
You want to
if
take it?
they're registered, if people are, for example, I'm not there yet, you
okay,
have to set it
we'll
up.
still reach more people than we would,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know, yeah,
Well,
better
you
to
know,
try.
the thing with the town meeting Facebook is, it's depending upon, they were debating whether to let non-town meeting members be in that,
I don't
close
think
to
you
it.
can.
Yeah, that was something that I thought.
And
But
also,
if
not
one of-
every town meeting member has an email address on
Yeah.
record, unfortunately.
And so with the Facebook groups, if those of you that are town members, which I think there's four of you,
At least.
if you are in Facebook groups, please feel free to post the public
Yeah,
meetings.
just what.
You know, and
just,
also I think there's some Needham resident specific Facebook groups that,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
they
just
don't let
send us
in like
invitation
me.
and we will.
So,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
if you want,
absolutely.
that
Yeah,
would
so
be
we should all,
advocacy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good,
Yeah,
yeah,
I just want to
That'd
send
be
an
great.
invitation
Get it
from you as opposed to me saying. you know.
No, yeah, so any of those Facebook groups that are like
Yeah.
exclusive to Needham residents, that would be really amazing.
There's
Or town.
the big one with like 15,000 people. And the only issue is when you post something, there's like a 50-50 chance that there's going to be some massive war in the comment section. So you just have to
We
be
could
very,
have-
very neutral.
that one is called what? Just, you know, the name?
Needham.
Needham, Massachusetts.
That's just the Needham, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Facebook
Yes,
page,
I know.
yeah, 'cause I don't actually
Kim,
see that.
Question, are you only doing these in October, right? Not-
Yes.
So, okay, because with the election, a lot of folks are very, overextended, so there may be less participation. And a lot of folks are canvassing and doing big meeting and holding, so that's coming.
Yeah.
So there may be some.
I think if we get low turnout, Kelly would
Might
definitely
be,
be able
might
to
wanna-
do
okay.
something, yeah.
We can certainly reach out to our friends, neighbors, people we know in town and encourage them to show up for these. Even outside of town
Absolutely,
meeting. or other-
yeah. We should.
And then we will have the surveys that'll, they'll be available as well. So if people can't make it, there's still that opportunity to go over some of the concerns or things they'd like to see, for us to get information from them.
There have been a couple of surveys that's floating around and they have had very low participation, not related to obviously to this, but to about the town sentiment about different issues. There was one. So I don't know, they were considered, this group is the Network Resilience Network, that Needham Resilience Network in particular, thinking about. And they're considering incentives. So I'm not sure if that's something on your radar, but there seems to be a bit of a survey fatigue. Or,
Yeah.
so, yes.
Could we print them out on slips and use this bookmarks every time somebody checks out as like a link to the survey?
We are doing a QR code already, or not already, but we already have things going out into people's folds and things like that too. But yes, we'll be utilizing that. And the thought is once we have the survey finalized and on the site, then we will do a QR code on printed documents or something for people to get it. Or, we can also write the link too, because I know sometimes QR codes trip people up.
Yeah.
But yes, we're definitely gonna have like paper-based advertisements, like that kind of are forced upon you if you're checking out something.
Mhm.
Great.
So in the town page,
Yes.
right, there is under the town meeting,
Mhm.
there's a link to contact all the things in precinct.
Oh, that's good to
That
know.
way.
Yes.
And I looked at the town meeting page, town meeting member page on Facebook. Only 103 people there, so that's not a,
Not all of
But
them.
not everybody's there either.
what,
Not everybody's there either.
and maybe they're not. that'd be
Yeah,
fair.
for example, I have to sign up myself, so.
I think, yeah, the more places we can put it, even if some people are seeing it multiple times, great.
No,
But,
Yeah.
yeah, so I think you're right, like all the channels is great.
And also, if you're having any events in the community room.
Mhm.
You know, just to make, I'm just thinking about one coming up on on Sunday to just make an announcement or have the QR code around or something to,
Yeah, it doesn't say how many there are in that list. but
Yeah.
there are,
Reaches some, that's better than not reaching them.
Yeah,
That's just one
and
more
sometimes you have to
way.
be reminded. Sometimes, you know, like the fifth time, oh, now I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, my husband's a psychologist and they were saying among them that people have to hear something 7 times.
Yes,
before it
that's
penetrates.
right.
All right, 7 times.
Oh, wow.
So we are, okay, so we're moving on to we have the equity and inclusion resolution next. So is there anything to report this month?
Kim, I don't know if you have it.
I have what's in the report. We're participating, you know, in the community read that we've been talking about. They had an event, actually already, but there's a couple more around it. Thank you, Mr. Nixon by Gish Jen.
Yes.
We had displays up for Hispanic Heritage Month and Banned Books Week, which also featured many diverse stories. Purchasing continues, although I didn't get, I'm noticing I missed the children's number and actually putting that in. I had the department heads attend a webinar about overcoming avoidance to navigate emotionally charged conversations, because it was a really good starting point for both patron conversations that might be tricky or difficult, and maybe some staff conversations that have to happen too. And it's just a good base, I think, overall, with understanding people are coming from different places when you have a conversation. And then, you know, the town has continued with it, working with the DEI group that I think it's, no, I won't say the college because I don't remember. There's a local college that the group is from or like works with that has been coming to talk to town leadership. So they had the second one of those brainstorming sessions.
Great. Adding to Kim's Needham Connect hosted a session, a virtual session for thank you, Mr. Nixon. We had 11 attendees. Thank you, Carol, for our discussion. I think it was really interesting, very different perspectives. We had an individual actually from China and was visiting Needham, so we had a really you know, lived experience account as well. So it was fun.
Did anyone try to?
What date was that?
Was that what date? October 3rd. It was virtual. Yes. Oh, yeah, it was supposed to be. Oh, yeah, I was wondering where, you know, that was Yom Kippur, so we moved it.
Oh, I had it written down. And
I know,
I
I'm
also missed
sorry.
that, I missed the same thing, the goats.
It was canceled, it got rained
The
out.
goats.
Oh, the goats got rained out?
Yeah.
Oh,
But the thing is,
Go,
we're reading that book.
The bookworms
The
are.
bookworm, we're reading it on.
Yeah.
Next month.
Yeah, the 17th, yes. So,
yeah, I got through two stories and then life got like incredibly busy and crowded, so I didn't get to the actual book discussion. Carol?
I was gonna say, I did try to listen to the authors, many community-wide
Yeah.
session. And she was late, she was in traffic, the sound was horrible, it was in and out.
Oh,
And then she started to read from her story, saying that you already read her stories
Yeah.
and you didn't want to spend that time, you know, so it was gonna leave 10 minutes up, so I just threw in the towel. But it was too bad because, you know, it would have been interesting to hear her more on the discussion and not just reading her own. I mean, it's sometimes fun to hear the author do
It
their
is.
own reading, but that wasn't, I thought, the way it was billed, and I was kind of disappointed in the way it turned out.
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone was because the sound quality was horrible.
that's
You know, it wasn't on schedule. It was a shame because there were probably, I don't know how many people were. Sometimes I can't tell how many people are signed up for the webinar. Should
Oh,
we be
yeah.
able to?
They don't, yeah, they don't move the participants.
Yeah, I don't know how many others were.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's too bad.
yeah,
Yeah, that's fine.
So we
I
should
love
probably
the
move.
stories, but.
Yeah, she's a brilliant writer, right? Let's just move on since we're coming to, eking up on 9 o'clock here. Library and Arts and Exhibits Committee, Carol.
We met after our last meeting, we met on the 15th September, that's after having our own meeting 2 days earlier. Everyone on the committee was present. We actually had a visitor of the public, so to speak, of Corinne Road, who was on the Needham. Well, she is the Needham Arts Council. On that, but they changed their name, so Needham.
Same thing that Vicky Garvey's represents, Needham Arts.
Not us, not Art Association.
Art Association, it's a
No,
different.
no, this is
Or
the local division that where the Mass Cultural Council
Okay,
devotes some money for the first time this year. The town, actually maybe this last year, the town chipped in some money. Before that, I don't know if there
Needham
were any
Arts
towns.
Council.
I don't think that anybody other than Cambridge had been, appropriating money for their arts, to their arts council. And they've done that historically for years, Cambridge has. But in any case, she, it was a good connection. I was glad she came. She had a little report for us together, the amount from the Mass Cultural Council to the local arts council and the amount appropriated by the town came to about 17,000 for this fiscal year. There's a local arts deadline coming right up. Every year there's a grant deadline in October. It's October 17th this year. They're going to have a table at the Harvest Fair. And they were involved with the mural project.
Oh, the mural project, yeah.
Not the one near
Not the-
Pollard, but the one on a wall near Trader Joe's on that corner, facing on that same side.
Yeah.
So that's good. We considered applications. We did decide to recommend certain artists, but I think we're going to wait until I'll describe who they are at the next meeting because Ellen did not have time to actually work with them, make sure that their work is hangable on the system we have, make sure that they've submitted all their paperwork, etc. So I think I'll, by my time, I'll go through it next month.
And maybe have a little sample of each person's work for.
Yeah, if I can do that, I might need Gail to help me.
We have bugs at my house too.
October. Anyway, yes, I'd love to because there's kind of a nice variety of art that we might have.
Nice.
So if it all works out, so.
So
To
no
be
vote needed
continued.
tonight.
to be continued, yes.
All right, so we're then, if that's, any other questions for Carol, for the Arts Committee? And Carol, by the way, has been helping out on gathering information for, our moving forward toward having a new art lending policy. She's been helping find information on how, safety of the art and insurance and just all the strictures that we want to take a look at before we revisit that policy. But thanks for that, Carol. Yeah. Okay, so now MacGyver series.
Yes, I'm happy to report that we have an event coming up Sunday. Just to pass it around here. It's
Oh, I know, this looks wonderful.
Veronica Robles is coming back. She's been in Needham before. Last year, she did an event, virtual event with the first Boston female mariachi band. And she's also been on the Needham 4th of July parade.
Oh,
So now this time it's we are celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month. So she's coming with a couple of her performers, and it's going to be songs and dance, and it's a family event. We have so far 60 registrants already. And
The max is what, is it 90 or what's the
the
allowable?
max is 7.
70.
And we, I guess we're evaluating, working with Gail and see, you know, if that needs to change or how that works.
Mhm.
But yeah, so we'll do a walkthrough Thursday, and we are excited. And, yeah, well,
Congratulations, and that sounds like a wonderful event.
yes, it was a little difficult because she's been, she was in the Cordova last weekend, then she was in the Fenway Park. She's also was in the MFA, and so, you know, trying to chase after her, it was a bit of a challenge, but yes, it worked out.
Okay, so on to the Friends. I don't know if we have any news from the Friends. I guess they had their book sale, right?
Successful book sale, and also they finished the program set up for this next year for the program committee, and there are some very outstanding guests. You should check it out, including the president of Olin College, Marcia Bemko from Antiques Roadshow. And you know, I think they've put together an outstanding series of programs over the course of the year. So you should check
Is
out
there
the
a place
list.
that we can access the Friends, the schedule for the Friends?
Yeah, I know that there's a form. I'm not sure how it's been distributed yet, or whether it's even available at the library, but we should do so.
I think they have a website.
The Friends have their own website that they
Yeah.
post on. That
Yeah.
That would probably, okay. Is this fair? All right, any other questions for Jay around the Friends? And also the new Friends Bookshop has been nicely
Oh,
repositioned
yeah.
to, and looks great, I think.
Jay,
Yes,
Jay,
sorry, you ought to go, you ought to have been in bed tonight. But I was just gonna ask, do you know whether there's any report about the, whether people are finding, you know, the income from the bookshop? Now that it's relocated, is there any information reported? on
I
that?
don't know if there's any information. I can just give you anecdotal based on my reaction, which is that they've done a really outstanding job of relocating it, but it's not in as prominent a spot. And I thought maybe there can be some improvements in terms of signage to direct people from that lobby area to herd them there, because it's, you know, you don't have to walk by it in the same way that you used to, and you know, when it was in the front. So I think as nice a job as they've done with relocating it, it may lose some action because it's sort of a little bit, you know, as on the side.
So Kim, you have contact with the Friends
Yeah,
leadership
Keith is.
on that, yeah, okay.
Keith is the sign guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, good. All right, so we don't see Joan from the Library Foundation. Oh, but Rob, you're our liaison with the Library Foundation, right?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I wasn't sure if I heard what Kim said about the signage. Had she spoken to Keith about that?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes? I didn't hear.
Oh, I said
Yes.
Okay, you may want to put
You heard me.
a slogan on the sign, you know, great books cheap.
There you go.
That's good. All right, so Rob and the foundation?
Unfortunately, I was not able to make their meeting in September. I will be going to their meeting on October 27th. I did speak briefly with them at the Harvest Fair. It sounds like things are going well there, and they're really ramping up their fundraising drive, but I don't have any specific updates right now.
Okay. All right. Thanks. So we reached the end. Trustee comments of any kind before we, yes,
I just
Tom?
want to say that the town meeting's coming up, and luckily, I didn't see anything we have to be worried about.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
Nothing
That's good to
about us.
know.
You know,
We all get to vote on this big piece of land that we might
Yeah.
acquire.
And the breweries too.
And the brew, yes.
It's a good place for a brewery to be up there.
Okay, so in that case, unless there's any further trustee comments, we'll have a vote to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor? Oh, second. All in favor, say aye.
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 closed. No, so we're adjourned. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good
night.
night.
Feel
better.
See you
Feel
there.
better.
Thank you.
So we're meeting on
What's the
election
name
night.
of the person
We are
from
meeting
our